Welcome to Singapore. Hello, how are you guys doing? I'm going to make this simple, short, and sweet. We are not going to stay here long, okay? I'm going to say happy hellos and happies, howsies, doozies to all of my peoples in here, okay? So, Janelle, Nika, Aaliyah, Kayla, and Gabriel. Hello. Thank y'all for coming in early. Let's get into it. I promise y'all we're not going to be here long. Monday Night Raw was a simplistic show. Hello, DeAndre. How are you? Okay. It was a simple show. It was straightforward, but it had its moments, okay, where it was just a little bit low key messy. Okay. Hello, Eli. But for the most part, it let us know where we stand. Okay. And let us know where we stand with certain matches and certain people. Okay. So, first things first, the show kicked off with Gunther. Okay. Gunther came out there and basically he was just, ragging on Damian Priest, giving Damian Priest the blues. Okay. Damian Priest was getting tore up by Gunther. He called him everything under the sun. Okay. Rip rap, street rat. I don't buy that. He was going off, honey. Okay. It was not an easy feat. Damian Priest got called out by Gunther, and instead of Damian coming out there to talk shit and match him bar for bar, Damian said, "Fuck all the dumb shit. I'm just gonna whoop your ass." And they started fighting. Now here's the thing: the way I was raised, and the way I understood fighting in the hood was, number one, you never put your head down. Okay, you don't do that. Okay, when you put your head down, you lose the fight. Number one, because you can't see. How you gonna see the opponent if your head is underneath where it's supposed to be at? Okay, you can't be doing all that. You gotta have your head up so you can see. Okay, you gotta have your head up so you can bob and use your weave. Okay, you can't be out here ducking your head down and fighting like a little baby. Windmilling and shit. You can't do that. You got to pick your head up so you can see. Now that was the one mistake, and all I saw was Gunther out there throwing kicks like he was a little kid. I was like, "Oh, you can't really fight. you can't fight."
Out here throwing kicks like them weird ass choreographed pirate fights when we was kids.
No, it was worse than that because he was missing with the kicks. The kicks was not connected. I said, you can't fight like that. You can't. Baby, you gotta have a little bit more gumption than that. Okay, you gotta have some tenacity, and you gotta know your opponent. This is one of the benefits of being a street kid. Okay, one of the benefits of being a PJ kid. Okay, that's one of the benefits. You learn how to fight. Now, some people who lived in the projects didn't know how to fight, and Gunther comes from privilege, so of course he don't know nothing about fighting because other people fight for him. All he know is that he's trained to wrestle. But baby, when you fight, ain't no rules in fighting. Ain't no rules. So you can easily get your ass whooped when you highly trained to fight. You feel what I'm saying? Baby, you can't scrap work for damn. Okay, you need to do something about that. I don't know what you can do to fix it, but you need to do something. I don't know, take some taekwondo, kung fu, some Muay Thai, kickboxing, whatever you got to do to widen your arsenal. You need to do that because Damian Priest was landing all his blows. The only one he missed was when he was in the bike and he got thrown up against them damn roadie cases. Mm-hmm. That's the only time he missed something. Hello, Lewis. How are you? He is the ring general, but not with scrapping, baby. You ain't never lied, okay? Hello, Danny. How are you? That's why Ilya was whooping his ass for real, because Ilya was from the streets. Hell no. So this led to a brawl that Adam ended up breaking up with all of the security he could find, as well as some of the producers backstage. This brawl then spilled over into the backstage area where the two men continued to fight, and they fought and scrapped so much that Adam had to bar them from the building and also blocked them from the show tonight. So they were no longer allowed to be on Monday Night Raw because they could not control and contain themselves. Now, there were matches after this. Ilya went up against Bron Breakker. I'm not going to say that it was a bad match because it wasn't a bad match. What I don't like is the fact that Ilya got served up to Bron Breakker.
Right, because Bron was giving that nigga the blues in
right,
NXT.
Right, and I don't feel like Ilya deserved to go down like that. Ilya's a better wrestler than that, and he deserved a better showing than that. And I fully understand that, like I said, it's all about making Bron Breakker look like he's a danger to anybody he goes up against. But Gunther still looked like a monster going up against Ilya, and Ilya fought with every fiber of his being. And it was never a situation of whether Gunther was the monster that he claimed to be. It was whether Ilya could rise to the occasion.
Right.
And that's what happened when they faced off against each other. First time, second time, he did rise to the occasion, but they just made it seem like it was so easy for Bron Breakker to beat him. And we all know that that's not true. You feel what I'm saying? So I didn't like that. And I don't understand why they keep going in this direction. At this point, they should have just gave Bron Breakker the fucking title at Money in the Bank if that's what they wanted to do. Sammy's more than likely gonna lose at SummerSlam, which I hate that for Sammy. But I understand that they got to pass that title off and move Sammy out of mid-card, possibly into title contingency at some point. You never know. But I know that title has to move on from Sammy and go to a different place. However, I would have preferred if Sammy kept the title for a year, just like all the other champions get to keep their title for a year. You know what I'm saying? Or almost a year. You feel me? Because y'all got fucking Logan Paul out here, had two title defenses and was champion for 270 plus days. The fuck is going on around here? He got the third longest title reign in WWE history. Like, what is happening? What is going on here? Like, this is crazy. Okay, and if y'all don't believe me, shit, I ain't got nothing to lie about. You know what I'm saying? I lies about nothing. Okay, y'all may disagree with my takes. Y'all may not like what I'm talking about, but and I might forget some shit. Definitely has been known to fuck up some shit or forget some shit, but I ain't ever lied about nothing. You feel me? Hold tight. I'm finna shows you. Okay. Yeah. It's a sad day when one of your longest reigning champions have only defended the title twice. 261 days he's had this championship and defended it twice. Bananas. Okay? Bananas. Hold on. Look at the mess. Look at this mess. Russell House posted this on their Twitter. And child, hold tight, y'all. Give me 1 second.
Still don't know my words, still stressing perfection. Let you all in my mental, got me looking too desperate. Damn, you ain't deserve.
Anywho's, y'all. Christopher, why is you putting this shit in my chat? Why? You didn't even have to you didn't even have to say this. You could have let people find that shit out on their own. And from what I understand, Zoe Starks is not a stud. She is not gay. She is straight. She just gives a very masculine aesthetic, but she is straight. Anyway, that is so ignorant. All right. So go to hell, Christopher. Go straight to hell. So yeah, Bron Breakker won this match against Ilya. He won it by basically spearing Ilya off the edge of the apron, and Ilya hit his back. And when he fell, he pretty much slumped over, and that was it for Ilya. He was out. And they declared him the winner because Ilya could not continue the match. And the doctors pretty much declared him, unable to compete, which I still say sucks. I feel like a triple threat is more than sufficient for this match. And Bron Breakker truly doesn't deserve another title shot. He shouldn't have gotten an opportunity because he was beaten clean. I don't understand why we have to go through these hoops and hurdles like this when Bron Breakker lost clean. He didn't lose on some fluke bullshit. He lost the match clean. So why are we here again? God, it's so annoying. But y'all do you. Whatever makes you happy, god damn it. Anyway, CM Punk came out there and told everybody that he has been cleared. And he is ready to rip Drew McIntyre's face off. He is pissed off. He wants his bracelet back that had his wife and his dog on there. He wants that back. And he's angry. He's livid. He is obviously losing control. And of course, Adam Pearce is trying to maintain some semblance of control. But that's not necessarily happening here. As of course, Drew makes it seem as though he is in full control of everything. Adam threw a monkey wrench in the plan. You see, Drew thought that it was just going to be a match between he and CM Punk, and he's finally going to get his hands on CM Punk, and now he has the upper hand. He has the control because CM Punk is begging. He's needing a match from him, and he wants to get his hands on him so bad, so he likes the fact that he's in control, but he forgot that there's a risk factor here that he didn't consider, and that risk factor is none other than Seth freaking Rollins, ladies and gentlemen. And then as CM Punk and Drew McIntyre's business has now spilled over into Seth Rollins's business, we are now stuck in a bit of a conundrum. Okay? We got a little bit of a problem, if you will. You see, because CM Punk stuck his nose in business that had nothing to do with him, this has now turned Seth's ire on to CM Punk. And because Drew McIntyre decided to cash in on Seth freaking Rollins during his match with Damian Priest, this has also turned the ire onto Drew McIntyre. You see, the visionary has decided that he was going to be the one to help alleviate a lot of this pressure that these two keep building up in that crock pot. So, Drew was out there cutting his little promo and going off on CM Punk, but, goading him into coming after him, that's when Adam made it very clear that if the two of them touched each other, whoever threw the first punch would be suspended indefinitely and the match would be off. Nobody would be competing at SummerSlam and neither one of them would get what they want. However, he said to ensure that we get the necessary match that we need at SummerSlam, I've made sure that there's another person who's going to be involved in this. A person who has also been affected by both of your bullshit. And that's none other than this man. And that's when we hear Seth freaking Rollins music. And I knew the moment he came out there in that jacket and them bits and them pants, oh, he was on some fuck shit. And he was going to be the special guest referee for their match. And I'll be damned if I wasn't right. See, I have told y'all multiple times, Triple H gives you a telltale often. And I'm going to give y'all a little free game. Okay, when you watch Triple H's WWE, be very careful and make sure you pay attention to everything because he foreshadows a lot. 99% of the time, he is already giving you a precursor into the story or giving you a light as to where he's going to head next. You are never going down that tunnel in complete darkness when you with Triple H. It's just not happening because he can't help himself. Sir, he's not like Shawn Michaels where he like a little bit of surprise. You know what I'm saying? He liked a little, he like a little shake up. Triple H is very much a ducks in a row kind of guy. So with this, I see where this is going. And while I do believe that both of these men will probably end up being affected in this match, there's just no way in hell that Seth is going to count for both of them. And more than likely, another referee is going to have to come down and count to see whoever wins this because Seth is going to get taken out. It's happening. It is happening. If it's not during the match, it's afterwards. And this is going to lead to a match at Bad Blood. And then we'll have another match possibly at in between there at Bash in Berlin, and then we'll have the final finale at Bad Blood, which I think should be a steel cage or a Hell in a Cell match with all three of them. Let them all battle it out in there. But anyways, Seth was announced as the special guest referee by Adam. Adam pretty much made it very clear that this is where they were headed. They had to protect the match. And who better than Seth freaking Rollins? And Seth basically told both of them, y'all have torn this show apart with y'all bullshit. Nobody is paying attention. So he said, somebody got to come in and make sure this shit goes down the way it needs to. And he said, who better than the revolutionary? Who better than the visionary? Who better than me? Okay? And baby, that's how it went down, honey. Okay, that's how it went down. Now, like I said, CM Punk came down there and he cut a little mini promo before he called out Drew because he went to his doctor and the doctor said, no more monkeys. I'm just playing. He said he was cleared. I went to the doctor and the doctor said CM Punk is cleared, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, he is prepared and he is ready. I like his hair like this, by the way. I wish he would go back to the cut that he had when he first came back. He looked nicer this way. And I do wish he would put a little eye cream on or something, you know, help him with them bites under his eyes. He got whole suitcases underneath there. I think he would just, you know, fare better if he just, you know, took a little time to take care of himself. You know what I'm saying? Any whoosies. She said, Seth came out twirling, and we love to see a little peekaboo bite, period. Yeah, he doesn't let anybody come in blind. He never does. Side note, I'm going to work tomorrow morning on my new electric scooter that was in the mail that I finally saved just enough for 2 months. Oh, congratulations. In a game of strategy and deceit, stay popular face-to-face, backstab and betray online. Oh, that's crazy. That's why. Oh, I might watch The Anonymous. This gonna be messy, honey. It's gonna be messy. I'm gonna watch this. I like to be a little mess, child. I like that. It feeds my mind, Jared. It feeds it. Anyways, y'all. The Judgment Day was featured prominently today on Raw as well. The 3 leading storylines, 4 if you count you know, Gable and Wyatt 6. But basically what we got here is the Judgment Day have been, you know, pretty much gotten themselves together with Damian gone and not able to be a part of the show. That left Rhea to be back in her natural position, which is at the forefront of the Judgment Day. And of course, this led to a lot of questioning. Now, as far as we know, Damian is just doing what he has to maintain himself on the top of the mountain. He ain't trying to worry about Judgment Day right now. So Rhea's taking that job over, okay? And Rhea is trying to understand, like what are y'all doing? They in there playing the game, having a good old time. And she was just like, okay, so cool, y'all playing y'all video game, but we gotta talk because I'm doing what I'm doing and trying to get my title back. Y'all got the tag team titles, and it won't be long before Judgment Day is back to running Monday Night Raw. So we got a game plan, we're gonna execute it. Cool beans, love it. Well, little old Dominic had a few questions. Okay, he was just like,
why you talking to Jey Uso?
Like, I didn't like what you said to Jey Uso, babe. And she was just like, what are you talking about? She was like, dude, that was nothing. Okay, that's nothing. It's nothing at all. Now, she was like, that's not something you have to worry about for real. And he was just like, nah, like I'm just not. He was like, we made it clear that I'm yours and I'm okay with that. But like Jey Uso is like disrespecting me, and I don't like that. So Finn come out of nowhere, being the biggest instigator. We need to teach him a lesson. Nobody's disrespecting us anymore. I'm like, bitch, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, bro? What are you saying to me? Like, who the hell cares? We don't care about nothing that has to do with Judgment Day. Nothing. Seth had to show y'all what the CrossFit do, child. He loved coming out there with no shirt on. Anyways, so Rhea told them to leave Jey Uso alone. He is nothing to be concerned with. Let him go. We're not about to pick a fight with Jey Uso. It's not necessary. And so Finn was like, what are you trying to say? Are you trying to stick up for him? Are you trying to be on his side? She was like, what are you? She was like, first of all, back the fuck up off me. And secondly, no. We already done went down this road. Didn't work out. It's time to move forward. And in hindsight, if there was no animosity between Dom, Jay, Liv, and Rhea, I would agree. I would say she's 100% right. First of all, you already went up against Jey Uso and lost. Is that not what happened last week? Didn't he wrestle him last week, AJ? And she was out there and she watched him lose last week?
Yeah, I believe so.
I'm just trying to understand the logic. Like, what lesson are you going to teach him that you didn't teach him last week? Because obviously, there's nothing that you can do or say to him that can make him stop. Just like there's nothing you can do or say to Liv to make her stop. But speaking of Liv, Finn told, listening to Finn's stupid ass, motherfucking Dom and them went after Jey Uso anyway, attacked him. But it was JD and Carlito who came up on Jey Uso first. And once Sammy got wind of it, Sammy went in the back to help Jay. He went in the back to help him. He helped them, and all of a sudden, they get in the back. They realize they've been attacked, and Rhea comes back there, and she's like, what the fuck happened? Now, before that, Dom ran into Liv because she was hiding in corners because she's a scary ass bitch, okay? She is scary as hell. And if I was her, I wouldn't be running from nobody. I got the championship. There's nothing that anybody can do or say until we wrestle. She could beat my ass all day long, but I'm still champion, ho. Fuck you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So,
fuck you,
right. So she basically told Dom, she was like, Dom, I fully understand what's going on. It's totally fine. Like, he was like, you need to stop. Like, for real, me and Rhea are finally on good terms, and you're fucking it up, and I need you to just back up off me. But for once, he said it very clean and plainly, right? But Liv was just like, exactly. Don't even worry about it. I totally get what's going on. And he was like, you really don't. Like, just leave me the hell alone. And so she was like, don't worry, daddy time I got you. I don't want to say that anymore.
You didn't have to say it.
It came out. So she ran as soon as Finn came up, and Finn is like, I leave you for 10 seconds and this is what you do. First of all, you set this shit up to begin with your bitch ice. You know damn well that you are causing more discord than you need to. You started this. If Dom was sitting in the back like Rhea told him to do, he wouldn't have ran into her. And if she had came into the clubhouse, that's different. That means that she's invading his personal space. Mm-hmm. He ain't running to her. So this is all on you and Dom for being dumb. Okay. Then you get back to the clubhouse, right? And instead of you standing up for your friend, you threw his ass to the wolves. Yeah, you and Liv Morgan are on some bullshit. I don't know what it is. And I know for a fact that Nicole was one of the first people to clock that tea when we first started talking about this and when this story first started developing. But something about the way Finn behaving ain't right. It ain't right. It ain't right. Okay? It stank. I don't like it. Now, once Rhea found out that he had ran into Liv and was talking to her again, oh, she was like, we going to the motherfucking ring, bitch. Dragged his ass out there and was like, hey, Liv, you want him? Come get him. Left him out there like a goddamn laid a trap like he was motherfucking bait. She ain't come out there because her scary ass was standing up in the crowd talking about some, I love Dominic. It's the funniest shit I ever seen in my life. Talking about some, I love Dominic. And I know that he loves me too. And I was like, girl. She was like, guys, like Dom, hands. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm gonna try to get through this. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try my damnedest to get through this. Okay. He did lose. That's true. He did. He lost. Ever since we saw Finn in that car with Liv, he's been acting weird as hell. Girl. Last month in the background of Raw, they showed Finn and Liv coming out the same car. And we're supposed to ignore it. I didn't even see that. That's messy. But Liv's ass was standing up there talking about Dominic is handsome and the guys that look like Dom don't go for girls like Rhea. And Rhea looked like her heart was about to break. Okay? She was like, the fuck? I would have been like, the fuck you mean girls like me, bitch? What you talking about? I had cussed her ass out. But then Liv did what she always do, girl. She let them waterworks flow because Dominic Mysterio gave her all of the business. But you see, it was a little bit too much. She put a little bit too much on that chip. You know what I'm saying? It was a little bit too much dip on the chip. Just a little bit. Okay, because he basically said he don't fuck with her like that. He said, bitch, leave me the fuck alone in Spanish and everything he could think of. He spoke in 2 languages and he said it 7 times. And he was like, I don't want you. Get the hell out of my life. And Liv crying. She was crying like this. One Nan tear dropping out that woman's eyes. Not Nan. She over there crying. Now, because he cussed her out in front of Rhea like this, Rhea licked him like a little puppy. And then kissed him on the cheek. She was very happy after that. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something, and I'm going to be real with you. It's full kayfabe, so let's keep it real. Let's pull a scenario. You get hurt. Your man is supposed to be working. Y'all got a business together. And this girl has been coming after your man, and she has been hunting him down. The employees have been telling you, hey, your man be popping up. Your man be having old girl in the office with him all the time. And you ain't heard from your man in 3 months. Let me reiterate. You ain't heard from your man in 3 months. And you telling me this is something that he couldn't have done while she was injured? And you gonna sit up here and be like, oh, I love him again, and lick him like he a puppy on TV and kiss him on his cheek? Is y'all gonna do that when your man don't call you, don't text you, don't email you, send a smoke signal, say dog kiss my foot, nothing? He don't say nothing to you for 3 months. Okay? 3 months. No contact. The only contact you had is from Damien because he the only real nigga on the squad. Okay? Now, I just want to know from the people who watch me. And those of you watching in the playback, it's been 3 months and your significant other has not contacted you. They have not called you. You've been injured. You're hurt. And you ain't heard from your people. You finna come out there and be walking around here hugged up on him because he finally cussed this lady out? I'm just saying. She said Liv had on the coochie cutters, and I had to ask, is these PG? Girl, I don't know what I'm gonna keep it to that to myself. I'm letting Jay take me to Waffle House. Period. Jay can buy me a waffle. I would be sitting with Jay Uso at the Waffle House. Pictures would be taken. I would be all over social media with Jay Uso. There would be no way in hell I would be worried about what Dominic is doing. This is going to backfire. I'm going to tell you now how this is going to play out at SummerSlam. So if you don't want to know, then click out. Leave the live for a couple minutes. Because I'm finna tell you right now that this is bullshit. Liv Morgan walking away and crying like that is trash. It's garbage. This motherfucker standing in the ring saying all that bullshit is also trash and garbage. He is being played and Liv Morgan is working his ass over. And soon as she gets what she wants, she gonna throw his ass to the wayside too, because she's made it very clear what her intentions are. She's already planted the seeds of doubt in Dominic's mind, because if there were no seeds, he would have been in full contact with Rhea for the entire time that she was injured. He wasn't. There's a problem there, because Rhea, prior to her getting injured and prior to her losing her title, has made it very clear that communication with her is very important. It's top priority. If that's the case, then he should not be getting off scot-free from doing all this craziness. Right? Now, me, personally, I would be watching my back and my front. You feel me? I will be watching everything, because I see that Dominic is going to cost this girl this championship at SummerSlam. Rhea Ripley is not getting that title back at SummerSlam. I'm sorry to tell some of y'all who want Rhea Ripley to be champion again. Some of y'all are begging for her to be having that title again. I'm finna tell you right now, baby, and crush your hopes and dreams. It's not happening. Liv Morgan is retaining that championship, and it's going to be Dominic's fault. Hear me when I say it. It's going to be Dominic Mysterio's fault. Whether it's intentional or accidental is totally up to how they structure the rest of the storyline. But my mind is telling me it's going to be intentional. Think very much like it was in Clash at the Castle when his father and Edge went up against Judgment Day. They beat them, and fucking Dominic turned on his daddy and on Edge right then. Turned on both of them. All because he wanted to be with Rhea. I'm telling y'all. I'm just telling y'all. Okay? I'm just giving y'all the keys. Y'all the ones who gotta walk through the door. Okay? I've never been to Waffle House, but if it's Jay Uso, my response would be yee. He'd have a highlight in my IG with a blue heart with us in Waffle House on the road across the country. Rhea is a menace too. I mean, I ain't saying she ain't. I ain't absolving Rhea of her bad behavior, because everybody have their comeuppance. What I'm saying is, right now, the tables have turned, And Rhea is no longer the tortoise to the hare. You see what I'm saying? And while Liv Morgan may be, to some of y'all, you looking at Liv like she doesn't pose a threat, but she definitely does. And she's smarter than people are giving her credit for. I don't put nothing past that bitch. And if I'm telling you that she did all of this to get that championship from her, but she made it very clear what she wanted to do. She wants to take away everything from her. And the only way she could take Dom from her is that she had to start putting the seeds of doubt in his head that he don't need her. And that's what he had been doing. That's why he hadn't contacted her for 3 months. Because for 3 months, he was thriving, right? He was winning matches, right? The only time he really lost a match was when Liv wasn't involved. And when she was involved, he finally beat his father. He ain't never pinned his daddy yet. Okay, he had been going up against his dad for what, the last 4 years? He ain't pinned his dad. He beat him up. But shit, he ain't had a pin on his father. Dirty Dom and Freaky Finn about to fuck everything up. At this point, do it. That's the only way Judgment Day gonna implode anyway. And Finn just want to take over. Finn wants to be at the top. He tired of being a wingman. So I believe wholeheartedly that him and Liv Morgan been in cahoots this whole time. Because you have to ask yourself, how the hell did she get Dominic's vest? How did she get it? How did the room key end up in Finn's hand? Finn had her room key. The room key was left in the room, and Finn kept it, and he slid it in his pocket. It's too many variables and too many scenarios in which Finn is either goading them into doing something, he is egging people on, or he's doing some dirty behind the scenes shit. Okay? And I just cannot in good conscience believe that that man is not plotting on the whole group. He plotting on Damian Priest because he's jealous. He mad because Damian has been able to be champion. He beat Seth and Drew, something that he has not been able to do. And Damian has been able to maintain his championship. Whether he has had help from Finn or the rest of the crew or not, that's up to you to decide the validity of his championship. The fact of the matter is, though, he remained champion, and Finn was only able to be universal champion for 1 fucking day. He had to vacate the title. He ain't smelled that title since then. So if he ain't jealous, I'll be fucking shocked. I'll be shocked. And furthermore, it's the only way to get something out of Judgment Day imploding. You need that. You need to have the fight between Finn and Damian that happen next, and have Judgment Day continue to implode from the inside out. Rhea goes back to being on her own, a lone wolf. You put Dom with Liv until Liv decide to dispose of him. And then you let Carlito and JD McDonough do whatever it is that they gonna do. You can leave JD with Finn. You know, they was gonna roll together anyway, and you could let Carlito beat Carlito. You see what I'm saying? The question is, when they implode, what happens with JD? Just told you. Let him stay with Finn. He ain't got nothing else to do. And right now, he don't really have a dark character. He can lean on his dark side if that's what he wants to, and be the kind of character that he was in NXT, which I think for the mid card would work for him. But he could still be a part of with Finn, and they could roll together, and Finn could still be one of the top heels in the company, along with bringing JD along with him. That could happen too, because if something happens and Finn doesn't beat Damian Priest, you can turn that friendship into a feud as well. There's a whole way to make this kind of domino effect down. It just need to be take time and stretch it out. But that's how I would do it. He becomes a Funko Pop on the shelf, you know, the usual. I can't. So anyways, because that's messy. The last feud that happened on the show. Let me see. The Wyatt Six. Now, there were a few things that happened with the Wyatt Six on the show, okay? Number one, we saw what happened with, well, we didn't get to see much with Nikki Cross, but we saw that Nikki Cross is the female character in the group. They basically just said nobody cared about you. They abandoned you. They saw you lost and without anyone, and they left you. And I saved you. And that's pretty much it. There was no real deepness in Nikki's story other than she was lost and now she's found. It wasn't like with Eric Rowan, which we all understood that Eric lost a lot after losing Brody Lee and then turn around and some years later losing Bray Wyatt. It was hard. It was difficult for him to lose two brothers back to back like that. So that was a really deep but understanding message of who he was in the group. Then you have Nikki Cross's character, who out of all of them really didn't have the same abandonment, but she could make it appear that way. And then the last ones you have left is Joe Gacy and, of course, Dexter Lumis, which Dexter Lumis doesn't speak that often. So I doubt if he tells his story, but I would let Joe Gacy tell his because Joe Gacy speaks very well and I would let him talk. I honestly would let him talk. But Chad Gable decided to come out there and chastise the former members of Alpha Academy and Otis, Akira Tozawa, and Maxine because they helped Xavier and they ended up losing to the Final Testament. He came out there to make fun of them and to chastise them for being losers. When I was like, you're just as much of a loser as they are. So are the Creed brothers. If we're being fair, the last time they won a match, it's been a minute. So all of y'all are losers in the ring together. You're no better off than they are. Okay. So Chad Gable decided to go after them and make fun of them and demand that they rejoin Alpha Academy and fall in line behind some real athletes. And Otis was just like, no. He was like, for you to be talking mad shit, it wasn't too long ago where your bitch ice was jumping out the ring and leaving the Creed brothers to take care of your business. So he was like, why would we rejoin that? He said, I'm not joining back up with you. The answer is still no. And he appealed to Akira and Maxine, and they wasn't going nowhere. They were standing firm behind Otis. So they decided to attack Otis and Akira. Akira got knocked out real easy, which I don't like. Akira got game. He could have went in there and did some shit. He could have did some damage. He was putting in that work in that match with Final Testament. You feel me? Well, it took a minute before Wyatt Six ended up coming out there. But eventually they did. For the most part, the Creed brothers had chairs on the outside of the ring. And the whole time they was waiting for them to come down there. But the three members stayed at the top of the key. And as Chad Gable began to realize that he was no longer in the ring all alone, he turned around and Uncle Howdy was the face that met him. And it was pure terror because he did not move and he ended up taking a Sister Abigail. And I almost cried because I thought once Bray Wyatt passed that we would never see a Sister Abigail again. I know that Bliss uses Sister Abigail sometimes, so she might have done it, but to see Taylor do it, it was a little emotional. So I can't be mad at it. And I really do enjoy seeing the evolution of this Uncle Howdy character. And I'm very curious as to where they're going to go with this after this, because at some point they've got to put Uncle Howdy in the ring with him. And they got to make it so that it's worthwhile, like, I don't mean like, where you doing effects and everything has to change the match or whatever. I mean, like, you really have to make Uncle Howdy the entity that they want him to be. Build him up the same way you build up the Undertaker. Make him be dark and scary and brooding. Give him as much wiggle room in that department as possible. Because if you do that, then you're trusting in the character itself and it'll work out in your favor. But this was an amazing part of the show that I really, really enjoyed. So, yeah. there were some matches on the show. I gave you guys all the storylines. There were some matches, okay? Xavier, Akira, and Otis went up against Final Testament. Final Testament won. I don't really understand the significance of this, and I don't care. And I hate to say that for Xavier's sake, because I do enjoy Xavier, and I like Karrion Kross as a wrestler, but character-wise, Final Testament doesn't work for me. They never have and they never will. There's too much going on, too many variables happening, and I just don't care for them like that. I just don't. So I would prefer that they would do away with Final Testament, leave Karrion and Scarlett to be together alone, or move Paul Ellering from the situation and let Akam and Razor still be a part of this, but it's just too many things happening and too many people. It's too many irons in the pot, and I'm not a fan. Not a fan of it. But anyways, this match led to them having another match. It's going to be a one-on-one match between Karrion and Xavier next week. Kofi suffered a lot of damage via Final Testament the last 3 weeks ago, I think it was, and he has not been able to return. They say he has some bruises and contusions that he has to heal before he comes back. So there's that. They had this match between Lyra and Sonya Deville. It was okay. It wasn't nothing to write home about. Sonya is not one of my favorite wrestlers, and I find that she's dulled down her fighting stance or her fighting style in the ring. I remember when she first got there, she was more of a threat when she first got there. I don't know what it is, but they've dulled her down a lot. I'm not a fan of watching her wrestle, and I'm starting to not be a fan of her on the microphone. I find her to be very one-noted. She don't really have much charisma in terms of her mic skills. And while I like Sonya in terms of her adding variety to the women's division, this whole group that they got going on is fine, but I feel like what they should have done with this is had Zoe and Shayna take a leave of absence for a couple weeks and then show back up with Sonya. I think Sonya should have walked up to them and we should have seen it happen on camera. Sonya should have been like, right after Clash the Castle, right? She should have been like, if you want to start winning, you need to follow me. And I will take you to the promised land. I have a plan. Follow me. And then we should have saw them walk away. But they shouldn't have popped back up that following week. They should have waited and had them debut with their name and everything. They pop up, they beat everybody up like they did, which is fine. But they should have a name. They should have some cohesion right now. And it's just like, what they saying is empty promises. You know, Sonya beat Lyra, but it was due to the interference of Zoe and fucking Shayna. And while I fully understand it, a faction gotta move how a faction gotta move. Cool. It doesn't lend any credibility to the bottom line, especially for Sonya, when Sonya can be dominant without them interfering in her matches. I fully understand that they are heels, don't get me wrong. And some of y'all are very big on heel work. But even as a heel, you can win clean. Roxanne Perez is a very good example of that. Roxanne is going to spit game. She's going to talk a lot of bullshit. Okay, she coming at your neck real raw. But in that ring, there's no denying that she is going to beat you 1, 2, 3. And it's a clean win too. And those are the ones that you really can't do nothing about. Those are the ones that make you sour as hell. Because you can't say nothing. What can you say now? Because you have lost. And you lost on your own merit. Okay? Child, Nicole, listen. They've been on Twitter calling them the stud line for the last couple of hours. My brother came in here and put it in here earlier. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. That's what they called them. I'm not trying to get canceled. So that's what they called them, child. Charlotte, yes. Charlotte would be a good example of that. Honestly, if they took away Tweedledee and Tweedledum and just made Scarlett and Ellering cross as handlers, it would be golden. I disagree. I think Paul Ellering is not needed. They do not need Ellering. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't add anything to them. If Scarlett wasn't there and Scarlett was doing her own thing and was wrestling in the women's division, I would say, sure, don't have a problem with that. But you already have a handler in Scarlett. You do not need Paul Ellering too. You don't need him. Let him go lay down somewhere. Please. Because he looked like he'd be having a hard time just walking out there. My gosh. Rico said we need the Sonya that was tearing Mandisha's arse up on SD every Friday. I don't know where she at, but the Sonya I was looking for is not around. And maybe it's just me, but I'm just not a fan of Sonya as of right now. Maybe things will change once she start going after bigger fish like Isla and Alba, or possibly going after Bianca and Jade, or maybe another team like taking out Damage Control once they bounce back. But as of right now, like, she's had 3 times on TV and Zelina Vega has been walking circles around her on that microphone every time. And if you got Alba Fire and Isla Dawn eating your ass up on the microphone and your delivery is dry and boring, girl, you gotta reassess. You gotta reassess, babe. Because what is happening? I think once the mid-card belts come in, she could be a staple in that scene. She could be a staple in the main title scene too. I'm not like shitting on Sonya. I just want better from her because she can be better. She's not good on the microphone right now. She's boring. And it's like, just because you stare real hard at people and you got an attitude does not make your promo funny or cool or any more menacing or detrimental to the person you're going after. It does nothing. You have a dry delivery naturally, so you are just standing up there talking, and it's just like, girl, you are getting ate up by the tag team champions, by Vega. You is getting ate up. And if you bring that shit to SmackDown, where Jade and Bianca are, they gonna tear your ass alive. No, do better, because I know you can do better. I expect better because you should be better. But I think Hunter just has a bad habit of not cycling people out, because since Mania, it's just been Liv, Becky, and Rhea. But I think heel Sonya has run its course. Whether he has a bad habit of not cycling people out is outside of the box when it comes to Liv and when it comes to Sonya and what she's doing. Because when you get an opportunity, you got to take it. Vega did it. Zelina Vega, I bet you any amount of money, Zelina Vega was supposed to go no further than that one time she had with Liv Morgan. But Zelina Vega take her opportunities and she run with it. I'm not saying that Sonya have to be Vega. I'm saying she have to take those minor opportunities and turn them into big ones. She got to go for it all the way. Don't let nobody clip your wings like this. I don't know what to tell you, but some of y'all gonna have to pull a Stone Cold and say, bitch, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that, and that's the end of that. I'm gonna handle this my way. And I think Triple H would give you a little bit more leeway like that if you try. If he was like, okay, we'll try what you're doing. Let's see what it's on. Let's see how it hit. But it's not hitting the way people think it is. And I don't know, but everybody calling him the stud line on Twitter, which is cute. I mean, that's funny. It's funny, or whatever the case may be. But at the same time, it's just she's just not hitting the way I think she should. I miss Raw because I was at work. Oh, babes, it's fine. It was a good show, Nicole, and I liked it. I wasn't a fan of a lot of the matches, but the stories were good. The situation with Liv and Rhea and everything. Again, you came in a little later, so you didn't get to hear me. But if you get to watch the clips online or some of the stuff that I post, you get to see it. You are 100% right when it comes to Finn and Liv Morgan. They're in cahoots with each other. And at SummerSlam, I guarantee you, I'm at a 87% that Dominic Mysterio is going to turn on Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam. I am almost sure of that. In Monday Night Raw next week is going to be the true test to see if your theory was right. Because the way they have been operating, especially today, 100% backed everything that Nicole was saying. She said, see, I don't like that I be missing the good shit. The good shit was the storylines. I have to say 100%. The matches weren't bad. They weren't bad, but they were kind of irrelevant at this point. You know what I'm saying? But I get what you mean. But I think Sonya came back as doing what she was before she got hurt, but she don't got Chelsea to play off of anymore, and she can't carry Shayna and Zoe. And you know what? Chelsea would have outshined her. Chelsea was outshining her, but when they were together, what Chelsea would do is Chelsea would go small a little bit so that Sonya can kind of give you a little bit without it being too much. Chelsea was the one who played off of her so that it would be a more of a balance, and it wasn't like Chelsea's personality is so massive. It's so big. She could have swallowed Sonya whole, but she doesn't. She let her shine naturally, but she also gave enough of herself to be able to be seen and at the forefront, right? And then you're right that she doesn't have her anymore. But at the same time, Sonya was able to shine on her own multiple times. So no, I'm not going to give her that leeway either. You get your fucking shit together and make this shit work. You got two of the most gifted superstars back there. We're not talking about them personality-wise. We ain't talking about that. We talking about their skill level and talent. And whether you like Zoe or not, which I don't give a fuck about that bitch, but she is a talented wrestler. You got two of the most talented wrestlers back there. If they can't get themselves over, they don't need to be talking. Sonya do. But Sonya got to be able to give it to them right. You can't be giving me no dry ass delivery with no bullshit in the end, because I don't want to hear that shit. I don't. You standing up there and Alba and Isla is laughing in your motherfucking face. And you was like, you don't need to be worrying about Bianca and Jade, because we're the ones who are going to take those titles from you. Bitch, do you know how many times these two hoes have lost title opportunities? Were you not paying attention? Your words are hollow, because all you had to do was go back there and attack them hoes while they was on commentary. That would have been something that would have made sense to me. And then when they laid out on the ground, writhing in pain, that's when you be like, girl, you don't need to be worried about Jade and Bianca. You need to be worried about me. Let's go. And I got my ass up out of there. You see how that happened? You see how you put a little passion, a little holler behind your voice? You scream a little bit. You have a little bit of conviction. It sounds different than when you just stand there like, you don't need to be worried about Jade and Bianca. You need to worry about us. The fuck I need to worry about you for? The first thing out of my mouth is going to be, bitch, why I need to worry about you? You got a bum knee, and these two are losers. And that's exactly how Alba and Isla responded to them. Like, girl, is you serious? Didn't your homegirl just lose to Zelina with one arm? And I was like, bitch, how you let them clock your tea like that? You just let them clock you like that. And then it was like, it's okay, because we're going to prove all of that. Don't worry. We'll make sure you understand who we are. Like, girl, the fuck? No, we understand who you are. One-legged pirate Sonya and two of the bum bitches. What do you want? Like, what do you want me to say? The fuck wrong with y'all? Cause girl, yeah. Now Liv was crying because Dominic Mysterio told her to leave him the fuck alone and he want her out of his life. He yelled at her on camera in front of everybody, so she was crying. But I swear to you, Nicole, this is a plot. This is a plan. Because right before that, Finn was goading him into attacking Jey Uso and taking Jey Uso out. It was a whole bunch, a whole lot of. Okay, it was a whole lot of, and my brain can't function. It's not functioning with why is this being so dramatic? Like, it's real simple. You could have did this shit in the back. You could have did this shit 3 months ago, but you chose not to. And something about that just don't sit well in my spirit. It don't sit right. He said, I think Sonya and Shayna need a face turn because neither of them have proper claims as heel anymore, and they need to switch up. Child. Clock the T. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that you can't be a heel and not have validity when you lose, but that's part of the reason why Karrion Kross's words fall on deaf ears, because Karrion Kross in the Final Testament been losing for months. The first time they ever got the upper hand in any feud with anybody was against Kofi and Xavier. And even then, by the time they finally got the shit together, nobody cares. Nobody cares. And I hate that for Kross. So, Monday Night Raw had a couple matches, like I said. Vega went up against Zoey Stark. She beat her because they tried to interfere again. And then that's when Lyra and the Disco Twins came down there and they helped even the odds. And Zelina was able to use her cast to hit Zoey in the face and hit her with the cold red. And that was the end of that. It was murder, she wrote. She picked up the W. And I was happy for Vega because Zelina Vega don't get much. But like I said, when she gets an opportunity, she makes the most of it. Win, lose, or draw, you are going to see her. And that's all I'm saying about Sonya. But anyways, we also saw a match between Lyra and Sonya. Like I said, Sonya won that match due to heavy interference from Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark. We also saw a match between Bron Breakker and Ilya. Ilya seems to be injured. Bron won by default because Ilya can no longer compete. So he is not a number one contender in this match against Sami Zayn at SummerSlam. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm not looking forward to that match. I'm probably going to take a bathroom break on that match. I'm not going to be paying attention to none of that shit. I'm just not. Because I have a feeling that Breakker's probably going to win that championship at SummerSlam, and I just don't care enough to watch it. And I understand it. They got to move forward. They got to have new champions. They need to have a fresh start. And I'm okay with all of that. But at the same time, I don't like Bron Breakker enough to give him that leeway. So it's going to be fuck him till I feel like it. Anyways, moving forward into the next set of matches, like I said, we had Final Testament going up against Otis, Akira, and Xavier. Final Testament beat them. And then the final match we had tonight was Jey Uso and Sami Zayn going up against Judgment Day's JD McDonough and Finn Balor. Finn felt like people was disrespecting him and his crew, and they had to go out there and show people who the Judgment Day are. And I have said this on many occasions. Now, don't get me wrong. I ain't never been gang affiliated, but I have, growing up in the projects, you see, you hear, you know, okay? And as a gang, it's either you got a reputation or you don't. There is no showing or proving who you are, because once you have a reputation, you don't have to do that. Okay? Now, you can maintain that reputation. Okay? You can tell everybody who you are. You can keep showing people who you are, but you don't have to keep doing that every single week. We got to show people why we are the Judgment Day. If that's the case, then your bark is not as your bite is not as big as your bark. That means your bark is all you got. That means you on some pussy ass nigga shit. That's what that means. But Finn was out there, you know, goading everybody up and hyping up the crew. Like, we got to go out there and show them who we are. People disrespecting us. I was like, I don't know how you figured that, but sure. They went out there because y'all the ones who picked the fight with Jey Uso. Right? I can see if Jey Uso had his feet up in y'all clubhouse, playing y'all video game, eating y'all chicken nugs and whatever the fuck else y'all been serving up in that clubhouse. I could fully understand if that was happening, but that's not what was happening. Jey Uso was out there minding his motherfucking business, and you instructed the crew to start going after him. That's how that happened. And then when Sami jumped in and helped his fam out, you got in your feelings and was like, Sami Zayn is in our business and he need to get out. And Rhea told y'all to leave him alone. She was like, you went after Jey Uso and started some shit. And now Sami's involved. She was like, what the fuck are y'all doing? And I was like, baby girl, this is a new Judgment Day. They're not listening to you. Finn gonna take over. You're gonna be gone because you're not gonna want to be around Dom. Dom's gonna be gone because he's gonna be stuck underneath Liv's teeth only for as long as she want him to be there. And then Damian gonna be out because Finn gonna make sure he get out. I'm telling you, Judgment Day gonna implode, and it's gonna be because of Finn. It's gonna be because of him. I can see it now. Okay. Yes, it's gonna be a bathroom break, honey, because I can't do it. But anyways, y'all. So at the end of the night, it was a tag team matchup between JD, Finn, and Sami and Jey Uso. Jey Uso and Sami ended up winning the match despite the interference from Carlito and from Dominic Mysterio. All right. Now, they got to stand tall, but of course, Brian Breaker's petty ass ended up hitting Sami with another spear at the end of the show. Jey Uso turned around and saw Sami had got hit, and Brian Breaker's bitch ass ran out the ring. And that's how Monday Night Raw went off. For the most part, it was a solid show. But again, like I said, it was meant to continue to set up everything they need to set up leading into SummerSlam. SummerSlam is next week. Okay? It's next week. We got 1 week until SummerSlam, y'all. And these matches still needed to be solidified. Okay? This match was done last Friday, right? This match had been solidified since a few weeks ago, but there were a few other matches that had to be solidified, and that was one of them, okay? Including this one, and of course, these three men being in this match together. What's wrong, Mama? Thank you.
Those only two I saw downstairs.
It was only two. Night, Mom.
No.
These three men being in this match together, that obviously is a big, big thing. So, y'all, SummerSlam is shaping up. Now, the Wyatt Six don't seem to be involved in this, and they also continued the fight between Chad Gable and the Wyatt Six as well. So that is probably going to continue out to Monday Night Raw, and hopefully we'll see them battle it out maybe at Bash in Berlin or at Bad Blood, or maybe we'll get a little snippet of the Wyatt Six at SummerSlam. I'm hoping that we do. Maybe Chad Gable will hijack the show and then come out there and take him out, okay? She said, I'm stealing a poster from the stadium. Again. Now, there was a few announcements that were made on Monday Night Raw in regards to SummerSlam. Jelly Roll is going to perform at SummerSlam, and I know a lot of y'all are excited about that. I like Jelly Roll, and I like country music, so that is a cool thing for me to see Jelly Roll performing at SummerSlam. I don't know who's going to do the national anthem or any of that stuff, but I do know that Jelly Roll is going to have a set. He is actually going to perform, and it's going to be a fun time. So if you've never heard Jelly Roll's music, I suggest that within the next week, you get yourself acquainted, loves. All right? It's going to be a fun time. Now, I will give you guys a quick rundown of SummerSlam, and then I'm going to be out y'all here. You going to get in the shower? Okey-dokey. So SummerSlam is next Saturday, August 3rd. It is going to start at 7, I believe. We got Sami Zayn facing off against Bron Breakker. All right. We also have LA Knight facing off against Logan Paul. Okay. And non-title bout, we have Drew McIntyre facing off against CM Punk, and Seth freaking Rollins is going to be the special guest referee. Now, this coming Monday, he's going to give them his referee instructions on Monday, and the two men have to abide by these instructions, or again, the match will be forfeited. It's a lot going on and a lot riding on this match. I see a lot happening. There's many ways that this match could end up, but I guess we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. With that being said, Bayley is facing off against Nia Jax. And I'll be honest, I thought that Nia was gonna beat Bayley, but it really depends on what happens on Friday. I'm very curious as to how this is gonna play out. Nia has been supremely dominant throughout this entire feud. And while that may look good to a lot of people, I don't know. I don't know. I'm starting to believe she's not gonna win at SummerSlam. Liv Morgan has been challenged by the former champion Rhea Ripley, and I know for a damn fact that Rhea Ripley is not going to be walking away with that women's world championship. In fact, she gonna know exactly why she ain't walking away with that championship, because the man that's gonna do it to her is gonna be walking away with Liv Morgan with her tongue down his throat. Them whore bells is gonna be singing, okay? This is plenty of matches, but they probably gonna add more. She said, yeah, she said, bitch, I'm gonna be stomping my foot and tapping my knee. Periana, I don't blame you. And finally, we got the men, okay? Damian Priest and Gunther have made this feud worthwhile. And I have to say something to Damian Priest, because I was one of those doubters that did not believe in you. And I was one of those people that was like, give it to Seth. Let Seth make this a marquee match at SummerSlam for Gunther and let Gunther move forward. But you, my dear, have proven me wrong, and you have made it very clear that you are beyond capable of being a champion, but also a defending fighting champion. And you've also made it very clear that you are just as marketable as Seth freaking Rollins, or you could get there, and you are just as good, if not better, than your counterparts. You have really made a lot of people believe in what you're selling and what you're capable of. And I can't say nothing other than I'm proud of you, Damian Priest, and congratulations. You are a marquee superstar. And that is not an easy feat. That is not easy for anybody to do. It is hard. It is difficult to push through all of the talented superstars to be at the forefront. And you were capable and you were able to do that. You got to get that man his props where props are due. And they're making this feud worthwhile. And this feud is fun. It's interesting. It's not the same old rhetoric and bullshit we've been getting when it comes to people as champions and superstars. You got two people from two different walks of life colliding, and both of them have a true answer. They have a true answer and a true stake at that title. Gunther rightfully deserves the title. He's been a dominant intercontinental champion. Nobody has been able to do what he's been able to do with that championship, and he has a right to claim this championship, seeing as how he won the King of the Ring. But Damian Priest also won the title at WrestleMania, and he has also made it very clear that he's just not going to roll over for Gunther just because he former dominant champion and he's a dominant former NXT UK champion. That doesn't matter to him. He said Gunther don't have no heart, and he's going to show him why he lost at WrestleMania and why this is going to history is going to repeat itself at SummerSlam. And I'm just gonna say, I'm hoping that it work out for you, Damian, because I'm actually enjoying you being champion. While your championship title matches have not been the greatest, I can honestly say that your feuds have been fun to watch and they have been interested. And it's not just because of your opponents, it is definitely because of you. So kudos to you for rising to the occasion. Now, Nicole said, she said, I high key want Nia to win. I don't think she will win. I don't think she's gonna win, and I think it's gonna be Tiffany's fault. That's what I think. Gonna go ding dong, ding dong. I don't know if it's gonna be 100% Tiffany's fault, if she's gonna make it look like she gonna cash in, or if she swoop in and steal it. I'm not sure. But I something is telling me Nia not gonna win. And even when Nia do win, she not gonna have it long, which I mean, for the sake of Nia's comeback and the way she's been going, that kind of sucks. But storyline wise, I'ma laugh. Not gonna lie. Nicole said you still losing that day, Damien. But you doing a good job, sis. She's funny. Bailey taking the dub. You think so? I think that she's gonna win at SummerSlam too. That's what I was saying before. I think she's gonna win at SummerSlam too, but I'm not 100% sure, but I just have a feeling that this ain't gonna work out in Nia's favor the way she think. You feel me? And then finally, the last match that is supposed to set to compete for the WWE Championship is Solo with his broken nose and the WWE Champion Cody Rhodes. So Cody Rhodes has been dealing with the new version of the bloodline, and this time they're even more dangerous and violent than the last faction of the bloodline he dealt with. In fact, Solo has no regard for human life whatsoever, and he simultaneously has taken out anybody who has sided with Cody and attempted to help him. And everybody has pretty much left Cody to the wolves. And it's Cody versus the world. And at this point, he has no help in his corner. None whatsoever. Jey Uso's busy on Raw. He can't come to his rescue. And you know Jimmy Uso don't give a fuck about Cody. But he do have an issue with Solo Sikoa. Now, I don't know exactly how this is going to play out, but I imagine that it is not going to go as smooth as Solo thinks it is. And quite frankly, there has to be something that's going to heat this up. And I can't see Roman coming back and siding with Cody. That would be a strange thing. But enemies do make strange bedfellows. And in my opinion, if you're going to do it, then it needs to be done right. Roman can come back and interrupt in this match. And Cody obviously is going to be shocked. And he's got to have some issues with trusting Roman, because Roman, obviously, I wouldn't trust him as far as I can throw him, which isn't that far. But this situation, it's going to be very interesting to see how they play this out. I don't know exactly what they're going to do, but I'm very interested in it. So for now, this is the card for SummerSlam, and I agree with Nicole. I think that this is enough matches. They may add one or two to the pre-show, which I'm not necessarily mad about, but baby, she was like, I don't think she win it either, and I don't like it. I'm telling you, it's something don't feel right when it comes to Nia and Bailey, and I feel like she gonna lose, babe. I do. Maybe Tiff might cash in for real. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna hate that. If she cash in and win, I'm going to hate every minute of it. I'm gonna hate it. Oh, that shit broken for real, right? Right? His nose is tore up, honey. Solo in his outfit. That child love him a good black and some red socks and black shoes. Just tacky, child. If you're going to wear red and black, you do not have to wear red socks with black shoes. That draws all the attention to your feet, my guy. You wear black shoes, black socks. Okay? Hear me when I say this. Black shoes, black socks. Okay? Okay. Stop playing with us. It's still so crazy that the men's and women's briefcases turned out the way they did. Oh, please don't get me started, Rico, because I'm so upset about the men's briefcase. They could have had Andrade walking around with that briefcase, gave it to Carmelo. Carmelo could have been wreaking havoc right now, honey. Ugh. I'm rooting for Damien. And that Cody versus Solo match is going to be messy. I can't see it being no other way. I can see Roman helping Cody and then immediately spears him. But see, that would defeat the purpose of the whole thing. to me, if he immediately spears him, that would kill the vibe. Like, Roman gotta switch sides. He can't be a heel right now. I know a lot of people want him to come back and be a heel, but you're gonna overload us. It's gonna be too much. It's too much. And you have not given Cody nothing stronger than the bloodline to make him a super, like a John Cena style faith character. He doesn't have that yet. So making Roman come back and be a heel, you're going to kill him. You're going to kill Cody before he can even get out the box. And people are already calling for him to lose the title, which is wild as fuck to me. Tiff needs a failed cash in. I agree. We need a women's failed cash in. I agree. So much potential. And Hunter picked the most boring options for the story. Honestly, out of the women's Money in the Bank, I'm kind of glad that Naomi didn't win it, because I did not want her to have a failed cash in. I wanted her to be able to cash in and win. So I'm glad Naomi didn't win it. And I feel like this briefcase is going to be a failed cash in. So I'm so mad, because Melo would have been unbearable. And I hate that for all of us. I agree. That's why I'm saying, like, they could have gave it to Melo, and Melo, that head would have blew up. Okay. He would have been worse than Austin Theory. But it would have been funny to watch. And he didn't have to use it. And then, too, WWE got to stop making that be an end-all, be-all contract. Let them use the contract for whatever they want to use it for. If they want to use it to do a tag team title cash in, do it for a tag team title cash in. If they want to use it for a mid-card title, do it for a mid-card title. Whatever works. But stop making it be an end-all, be-all for the main championships. It doesn't have to be that way. You know what I'm saying? You could change the landscape of WWE, but you don't have to change the champions to do that. I'm just saying. We have to remember that there is a Rock versus Cody match somewhere in the future. That's what I'm saying. Like, having Roman turn on Cody and having that situation happen is just too much. It's too much. IDK, I just found that I'm not excited for a lot of the main stories aside from Damian and Gunther. I am very excited for Liv and Rhea, because I can't wait to see the look on Rhea's face when Dominic turned on her. I am excited for the main storyline of Cody and Solo, because I want to see where this is going to go in terms of how they're going to work this so that it can continue forward and they can pull Solo off of Cody. And then what are they going to do with Cody? I'm very curious as to how that's all going to play out. I'm very curious. I'm also excited for the storyline between Seth, Drew, and CM Punk. A lot of people saying that it's too much going on. I disagree. They killed two birds with one stone. Instead of making us wait months before Seth and CM Punk cross paths, they made them all cross paths together and mix the shit together. There are plenty of storylines for people to latch on to in this company right now. And I like the storyline between Nia and Bayley. It's subtle, but it works for them. It's quiet. And a lot of people sleep on Bayley's storylines, but her shit be fun to watch. It really do. And I like the storylines that they had with the men's titles, with the mid-card titles when it comes to LA Knight and Logan Paul. It was spaced out for a lot of reasons, but it works in terms of them. I'm not a fan of Paul's promo cutting, but it don't matter because LA Knight be eating his ass up. And I really like the title scene with Sammy, but I'm not a fan of Bron Breakker. So I'm okay with how everything is working out. Each feud has its own piece. And if you can't get into it, it's fine. Not everything is going to be for you. And that's just something a lot of us are going to have to accept. But for the most part, they've done a good job at flushing out each feud appropriately, especially for the ones that they could flush out. Like Logan Paul is never there. So there's only so much that they can do, right? But when it comes to Sammy, Sammy's been featured on TV every single week. He's been seen every single week. All right, but it is a lot going on, and it is messy, it's convoluted, and I like that. I'm happy about that. Live and Real like got so good out of nowhere. It just did. It's a good soap opera style storyline, and it's a very big callback to OG WWE days. Okay, and if you was watching it like I was in the late 90s, in the early 2000s, these kind of storylines were very, very prominent, especially like the storyline between Trish and Jeff Hardy. Child. And oh, the one that probably people hated or people just really did not like was the one between Lita and Kane, because it was very SAE, it was very SAE. Okay, because he kidnapped her and then she got impregnated with a baby and then she ended up losing it. So it wasn't, as a kid, you didn't think about it in that way because you're just a kid watching TV. You know what I'm saying? But baby, as an adult, when you look back, you're like, that is very grapey. You know what I'm saying? That's very grapey. I don't like it. Change the channel. Change the channel. Randy has been looking a little like, yeah, he has been looking at the title, but again, like, we forget that Randy could be the next one that Cody goes after. Randy could very easily pop up at SummerSlam and turn on Cody while they celebrating in the ring and just RKO the shit out of him and start the next feud for them. They could end up at Bash at Berlin, move from Bash at Berlin to Bad Blood. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. It's all kind of ways that this can be done. Kevin could turn on Roman on Cody too. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to do something. Yes, there's a lot going on all three of those men, inherently messy. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. Trish and Jeff are my Roman Empire. Like, a lot of people don't remember that storyline, but y'all got to go back on the Peacock network and y'all got to watch it. And I imagine that after this deal with Peacock is up, they'll move everything to Netflix. And I hope if they move everything to Netflix, that we'll be able to actually go back and watch everything without them editing shit, because it was what it was, bitch. Stop trying to change history and just know that shit happened. Okay, people was able to have free reign to do weirdo shit.
Yeah, put a goddamn warning if they like to deal with Disney Plus.
Amen. Just warn them. If it's triggering for you, then
Don't
get the
watch
fuck off TV. Because, bitch, you had to have hard, tough skin to survive the 90s and the 2000s, bitch. Or because if you was gay, black, brown, Asian, anything outside of the stereotypical all-American white boy, your ass was getting made fun of in movies, TV, and television, okay? It just was happening. It was something that we saw. If you was fat, you got made fun of, all right? All of the rom-coms and the little quick funny movies and shit, all the movies y'all going back and watching and want to cancel and shit, bitch, don't watch it. Stop watching it. Stop. Yeah, do like Emma Stone said, get up here. Let's dance. She was killing me. She said, bitch, if I see a Randy turn live, I'm going to pass out. Listen, it's the only way you're going to pull Cody off of the bloodline. And if they bring back Roman at SummerSlam, it's the only way that that's going to work. That's the only way. They have to do it that way. Literally anything with Eugene. Amen. Thank you. And he on Twitter endorsing Donald Trump. Or Festus. You remember Festus?
Who don't remember Festus?
He came out there to that song, Biscuits and Gravy. Yup.
Fucking Luke Gallows out there just...
Luke Gallows was
slobbering
Festus.
mess.
Yup. And that bell rang and he turned into a monster. Child, when I tell you some shit used to go down in WWE, you would be shocked. Surprise.
Had Luke Gallows out here look like he was special needs like a motherfucker.
Yep. I always pop for Eugene. I low-key think he need to be in the Hall of Fame, but they would not put him in there. Child. Eugene could actually wrestle. He actually could wrestle. He was very good. How they did Hornswoggle back in the day?
Yeah.
Child. They had him Vince McMahon's illegitimate son.
That shit was funny as hell.
Vince had a lot of illegitimate sons from. Ugh.
Well, I mean, what we know now.
Right. Crime Time wasn't necessarily an issue for me. Did I think it was stereotypical? Yeah, they were, but they weren't necessarily an issue for me. I just want people to get out their feelings and just really I just really want people to get out their feelings. That's all. And stop being so sensitive. The things that you need to call out, you call out. The other shit, let it be what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Nowadays, you can't make movies like that or see movies like that. But at this point, you chastising these movies and shit ain't gonna change that they've been made and that they're done. Like I seen them over analyzing Shallow Hal, the movie with Jack Black and Gwyneth Paltrow, and I was just like, it's not meant for everyone. And if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. That's my thing. Like when I see a movie where I feel like fat people are just being targeted 100%, I completely check out. I'm cool. You know, I ain't telling you can't make it because it's obviously a market for somebody. It just ain't me. The same thing happens in wrestling and every other form of media. You feel me? But with all that being said, I'll save that conversation for Wednesday. I will be back tomorrow and we will talk about NXT. But I do have something to tell y'all. If you missed Slammiversary, you truly missed out on quite the treat because not only did we get new champions out of Slammiversary, we got some really, really good matches. There are matches posted on TNA's YouTube right now that you can go and watch, and you can see how all of them had. I don't think they posted the women's title match and hold on a second. TNA. I don't think they posted the women's match. I don't think they posted the men's title match. I think they posted snippets of it. But they have a full event recap of Slammiversary. But there is also full matches up here. So they have the full match of the pre-show with Tasha Steelz, Fabi Apache, Giselle Shaw, and Zaya Brookside. They have the match with Kushida going up against Rich Swann, Masha Slamovich and Alicia Edwards retaining their championships against Spitfire. Eric Young went up against Hammerstone at Slammiversary. They had that. They have former WWE referee Earl Hebner returned and refereed the match, I believe, between Mike Bailey and Mustafa Ali. The No Quarter Catch crew had a match with the Rascals at Slammiversary. You had the Knockouts Championship at Slammiversary and the Six-Way Championship match at Slammiversary. They have clips and everything is up on their YouTube page right now. You guys should really go and watch that stuff because you can watch some of the full matches and everything, okay? Equal opportunity punt kicks, power bombing old ladies. Oh, child, it's a mess. Y'all remember when Mark Henry and Mae Young had a baby? That's the kind of shit.
Fucking hand.
She gave birth to a hand. And it was gross.
I'm like, where does that biologically make sense?
They was just writing anything. They was just throwing shit at the wall and making sure it stuck. So they had a lot going on in TNA, and you really, really should go over to their YouTube and watch it and give the girls a chance, give the guys a chance. You'll see some really cool things. And again, there were some title changes, but I want you to go see the stuff. Now, I know you can't see the main matches or whatever, but you do get to see Josh Alexander turning heel and low blowing Joe Hendry to take him out. You also get to see Jordan Grace beat Ash by Elegance and take her out. You get to see Nick Nemeth become the TNA World Champion, which you gotta love that, okay? Because Moose ain't champion no more. Praise God. Okay. With all that being said, go over there to their YouTube channel and check out Slammiversary. It is well worth the watch. And I will see you guys tomorrow after we talk about NXT. Now, if I don't go live tomorrow with NXT, I'll more than likely go live on Wednesday and we'll talk about NXT. We'll go over predictions for, I might do predictions next week for SummerSlam, just so I don't keep overloading y'all with a bunch of shit. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye. Maybe I might see